Oh boy, we're streaming. Streaming right now. Oh boy. I gotta put a thumbnail on this, I think, though. Do 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 do. Hey, hey. Yo, what's up, Jess? Do, 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 do. What's up, Gaming Hub, man? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're gonna get started soon here. Man, interesting. Alright, I'm just gonna add the thumbnail real quick. Alright. Let me get my link ready. Gotta share it to the Discord. 1 a.m. Wow, that is late, man. What's going on? Hell, big boy. We're gonna get started with some tips and tricks real soon. I'm just gonna share my link with Discord real quick. Oh, dude, no worries, man. No worries. I'm not tripping. No worries, yo. The reason I'm streaming these tips and tricks right now is because for some reason, when I record with the iOS 11 screen recorder, I don't, it doesn't capture, like, I can hear the audio when I play it back in the photos, but when I upload it to YouTube or I try to edit it, there's no voice audio, but I can still hear the game audio. It's super weird. Super weird. So that's why we're streaming it. For some reason the stream works fine, but just in videos it doesn't work, so really weird. But that's how we're doing it for this time, so. Alrighty, I'm about to post the links and we can get started. And we're going to be doing showing you guys bots and everything. Be easiest there. Alright. Alright, so we're just going to start off with just a couple bots. Nothing crazy. Maybe, man. I don't know how old you are, but good chance. Turn that down a little bit. Alright, need to for it to post it to the forward assault. Alrighty, guys. So this is my sensitivity. Mine is 27 right now currently. And a lot of people have been asking me what mine is, and I usually play between 27 and 29 sensitivity, right? And that's pretty low for a lot of people, and that's like totally okay though, because a lot of people just ask me like what my sensitivity is, but you shouldn't really like be asking, like you should take it with a grain of salt, because everyone's different. Most importantly with sensitivity, everyone has their own sensitivity that works best for them. This is my first game on, by the way. So yeah, I mean, just choose. So like, what you should do to test out sensitivities is start from like whatever you are now. If you feel like that's close, try sensitivity down 10 points. So, or 10%. So, let's say you're using 80 sensitivity, or let's say you're using 75 sensitivity, and you think like, okay, like I'm pretty close. So what you should do is practice it in bots, and practice flicking onto bots, and then try 65. And if that's like completely wrong and you're doing awful now, then maybe try going up a little bit, go up to 85, and if that's too high, try going up by intervals of 5. So like 75, only go down to 70. But just make sure oh my god, they really need to add buttons for the sensitivity, because I'll let go of my screen and then I'll flip to like another sensitivity. Like I'll go from 27 to 28 when I let go. So yeah, so move in like intervals of 5. Jesus, it's so early. It's too early, man. Yeah, so I mean, you want to just make sure you can like lock on the head, right, like that, right? Okay, so that one ended up a little too short, which is fine. So like once you get your ideal, like you think you've got like the general area of what sensitivity you're good in, like so, after that, it's honestly just practicing every single day on bots and stuff, because you're at this point you're teaching your muscles memory, and thus the term muscle memory, right? And it's really important that you use a single sensitivity when you're training, because, or not a single, but like your range that you specified, that you found out when testing sensitivities, because if you keep changing your sensitivity while you're trying to like teach your muscles memory, you're literally like, you can't, like your muscles have to keep relearning the new sensitivities if you keep changing it too much. So it's really important just to stay consistent with your sensitivity and just learning it. And like if you keep pulling up short, just maybe just move your thumb a little quicker, you know, next time, and then it just might be something simple as that. And I know people like just change their sensitivity when they just miss, but it just could be something where they just have to keep learning it. Yeah, so let me just reiterate the basic points. It's just basically try to sum this up as like a model, just like steps. So first step would be to just practice in bots, you know, practice flicking. Use intervals for testing sensitivity if you haven't found your right one. So you want to use either 10% intervals or 5% intervals, and just keep basically just narrowing down your sensitivity by then. And so let's see. Another thing probably with sensitivity is make sure like I know some people like to use really high sensitivity, but just know that like, yeah, it's like really cool like for flicking and stuff, because like sometimes like I can't flick here to there. Like I have to move my thumb a lot with 28 or 27 sensitivity, but like I can do it, like if I'm, you know, like if I'm really trying, like I can really do it. Obviously these are bots, I'm not trying whatsoever. Shit, I just totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, boys. And I totally forgot to check the comments. I'm 21, heroes. That's funny. I'm using the iPad Pro, sorry, I totally did not even see these comments. What's going on, Nightwave? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, just test your sensitivities, use 10 to 5% intervals when finding your right one, and then practice flicking, and then, oh yeah, high sensitivities. So high sensitivities are great if you're like flicking. Nice aim punch. But high sensitivities I kind of like really try to stay away from with advising, because it becomes like, in competitive gameplay, you're usually holding an angle like this, and if you have a high sensitivity and you barely move your thumb, like you're gonna go like, it's just gonna mess you up when you really need to be like, hyper focused on like an angle. That's another reason the 28 is really good that I like, or 27. I have like an easy time like keeping it stable, so that's just something to keep in mind. And that's just my only warning against high sensitivities. And obviously low sensitivities, using like, most people use 20. Obviously when you're up close, that's puts you at a very big disadvantage. So that's just something to warn about each side, and that's why you just want to find your happy medium. So I'm going to be going over the Crosshair now, since sensitivity is done. Like I said, I'm just going to go just review it one more time. Find your interval, or find your sensitivity, ideal like area of sensitivity using 5 to 10% intervals. Then practice flicks, and also practice, just practice peaks. Also, keeping your crosshair completely still, not moving it, because that's important. especially when if you guys start stutter stepping. I'll go over in the movement tutorial probably. That'll be a while though. But yeah, just practice those things, and that's honestly it. Bots are really good to practice on. I usually practice. Oh, that was like on the foot. It's usually good to practice at least one game of bots every time you get on FA. And honestly, if you just do that and you do those steps, you should find yourself to improve aim quite significantly. So yeah, and of course also you should try playing deathmatch. That helps too, because I mean bots are fine and everything, but you want to practice against players that are running and tracking. So yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be it for sensitivity. So regarding the crosshair, everyone's been asking me the crosshair, so I'll just go ahead and put up the crosshair size right now. Okay, I've loaded my game volume now. iPad 10.5, Brian. Alright, so crosshair. Crosshair, I'm using 48 size and opacity at 76. And I'm using a white color. I find this is the easiest just to see. I have it, I don't have it completely white. I have a little bit of opacity just so I can see through. It makes things easy for headshots. And this honestly is like crosshair is honestly your personal preference. For me, I don't think big ones haven't really worked for me, and small ones are kind of weird. So I kind of had this on the smaller medium side. And something I like about this crosshair for me that I found. Oops, stream died, boys. Sorry about that. Yields me the most results, and I'm on the iPad Pro 10.5, by the way. And the color, honestly, probably would be, I mean, yellow's pretty bad because a lot of the maps on this game are, I mean, this one and Arid are both pretty, like, yellow. And I'm stuck here, so. Yeah, but that's the reason why I have my crosshair at 48. Nothing too crazy about crosshair size. It's just personal preference, really. Yeah. And then but I'm just gonna kind of go over where you should be aiming. Obviously, you should be aiming at the head. Whenever you're moving around, you should be aiming at the head. And you should also be aiming at angles, right? Because I see people in pubs, like, just running around like this. And it's just like, and then someone's at the car, right? Like, they turn the corner and someone's at the car, and then they're still aiming over here, and they have to, like basically by the time they've aimed over here, they're dead. But instead, you could just be, like, here, here. Like, see, you can clear the angles one at a time, right? So you come here, you check to see that angle, right? And then you can check the car and van angle, and then you would be able to react way quicker, obviously, than if you're just aiming at the ground. And I even catch myself doing it though sometimes, and it happens to everyone, but it's just something to really keep in mind. It just makes your shots and taps a lot easier, and you're basically doing your work is half of your work is basically already done. Basically. Yeah. So crosshair placement's really important. Like, see, even there, like, right, I turned the corner, and I was aiming here, when I should have been aiming up here, right? It's just, it's kind of weird going from close angles to far angles, so you'll just make sure you're adjusting when you're walking around the map, so you're ready for anything that, like, pops out, right? Because if I'm walking over here, and someone pops to the right, like, and you're aiming like this, oh my god, dude, you're so screwed. Like, you only have a chance, really, to flick, and that's just really important. That's probably, like, the main probably a big reason why my flicks can work well is because the aim is just like, not the aim, but just the crosshair placement. I'm not flicking up, I'm just flicking to the side, and that makes it really easy compared to like a diagonal flick, right? Like that is, I mean, oh, okay. I mean, like it happens, I guess. But usually those aren't easy shots by any means. So yeah, I'm gonna check the comments. I forgot. Let's see. Check the comments real quick. A hand cam. Yo, hand cam would be crazy. Yeah, so I mean that's basically it for this tutorial. So I'm just gonna go over the points of all the videos and just summarize everything again. So when getting your new sensitivity, what you need to do is just test it on bots, test flicking, and test angle peaking, and making sure that your aim is constant and not like that, like when you're peaking, like it stays the same, right? And when you're finding the sensitivity and you're changing the actual number, like the value, use 10% and 5% intervals when you're testing. So you're using, let's say you're using 40% and you think it's a little too high, test it at 35. And if you think it's still high, try it at 30. And if you think 30 is too low, try 33. And that's probably going to be near what you're going to be wanting to use, right? Just simple testing, that's all really. And then, yeah, so just test it in bots, test flicking, and test angle peaking. So that's pretty much it for sensitivity. Obviously, you can do deathmatch too, because you want to learn how to trace people when they're running and predict kind of like, if you want to tap someone who's running, you kind of have to aim in front of them. When you flick, like you have to aim to the spot in front of them when they're running. So that's a little trickier, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for the recap of the sensitivity and the crosshair. Basically, that dude like stood up when I killed him. That was weird, yo. And for the crosshair, it's personal preference. I wouldn't pick anything too small or too big, but that's just my opinion. My crosshair settings, once again, are 48% and 76%. And I'm on an iPad 10.5, so if you're using a phone, yours might want to have to use it a little different. But the reason I use those numbers is because usually if I aim at the top of the bottom vertical line, that usually for me is a headshot with this numerical value. I shot him in the neck twice there, whoops. So yeah, that's just my reasoning. I use white color just because it shows up easy for me, I guess. And I use my opacity at 76 and not like a complete, like I don't like it completely white. I wanted to see a little bit through it just so I can see make it easier for headshots. And that's pretty much it for this first tutorial. I'm going to go over basic movement for the next one. So just keep in mind, keep a lookout for that one. And that's pretty much it. I'm streaming it because for some reason iOS screen recording is glitching out and won't work if I just record my voice audio. So that's why I'm streaming it. And yeah, I'm using a 3-finger setup and chronic. I'm using 3 fingers. Chronic, what'd you say? How can you move fast with only 27 cents? Yeah, no, I don't know. You just have to move your screen like really fast. Like that's just muscle memory, you know? Like I'll know how to move it. If I have to flick fast, like I'm flicking pretty fast for that. Obviously slower. Yeah, you just have to get those thumbs moving, man. For low sense, you really have to get them. Like honestly, this is how, if I'm single swiping, this is how long it takes, right? This is me swiping as fast as I can to do a 360. So obviously, I can use my my shooting finger, my left index, to move faster. But honestly, this doesn't really happen too much in scrims and stuff, because usually the way where I place myself, like, I don't expect people to be behind me, so yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Yeah, so I'm just gonna end the stream here, and that's pretty much it, and just keep a lookout on the next ones. I'll probably release them maybe in a couple days or so, maybe on the weekend. And I have some clips that I'm collecting for the next Highlight 17. I have about 4 clips, I think, right now. I think I'm going to want to get probably one more, at least, maybe a couple more. So be on the lookout for that as well, and I'll be trying to be streaming more often. I've been really busy with school, so that's why I haven't been streaming. But yeah, take it easy, guys. There's no really tips to get knives, just buy cases. I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do, recoil and stuff on, like, a totally, like, separate video. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll save that for another video. Just because, I mean, I'm probably gonna want people to get their sensitivities down, before they start watching recoil videos. So, yeah. Can you jump one shot? Is that a thing in this game? I don't know, man. Anyway, yeah, that's the video, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video, so, laters.